This is Daily Dose of Daryl, the Peebles Motivation Bureau, bringing you something positive, personal, and professional every day. This is a special edition this week on Talmadge Nelson Sr. This was an interview by Burton F. Peebles when Burton was 15 and Talmadge was 100, the oldest veteran in Alamance County, and he lived to be 105 and a half, and presumably the oldest veteran in the state of North Carolina. This is captured so you'll understand more about him and the area and that time of life. Enjoy.
I'm here to interview Mr. Talmadge Nelson, the oldest living veteran in Alamance County. Mr. Nelson, can you give me your full name and what date were you born?
Talmadge Nelson Sr., born 1906.
Wow. So
February 27th, I think.
that makes you 100 years old?
I'm 100, that makes me 100 years. No, I'll be 101 years old in February the 27th. 101.
Well, that is awesome.
Over 100 years old.
Well, I'm here to talk about your military service. So, can you tell me how you got involved in the military and what branch of service you were in?
Well, I was in the base post office.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, I was in the National, I joined the National Guard right after the First World War.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the, what they call a fifth base post office, handling mail. I could tell you anything they wanted to know over in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And we went out and built post offices and find an old building and go out on the desert and find some scrap lumber and fix up an old building and make a post office 50 miles away from a base so they can get their mail early.
Mm-hmm. In Africa?
In Africa, yeah. We landed in Africa and walked all night to Oran, North Africa. We walked all night with a heavy pack. One of our fellows, he said, I can't make it no further. He just went backwards. And I said, Lieutenant, I'm going to carry him. He said, you already carried over 100 pounds. We'll pick him up coming back. We went 20 miles and back one day. Walked 20 miles. Went up the beach. And we had water. They wouldn't let us, I had a quart of water on each ship, and they wouldn't let us drink any water all day long.
And what war was this in? World War II?
Training for the desert. I was out around the desert a lot of the time in Africa, North Africa.
Okay. And I guess this is in World War II.
We lived in the Oran, a city, for I don't know, maybe a year, and we moved around to just 2 or 3 different places.
Alrighty. So while you were in the military, you were in what branch again?
I was in what they call a fifth base post office in the Army.
Army.
And one lieutenant said, why are you just a corporal? Said you ought to be some kind of a sergeant. I said, I don't care. I want to go home when I get a chance, and it makes no difference.
So, when you were in the war, did you know why you were fighting? Or
know what?
Did you know the reasons why you were fighting? And Hitler?
Did I know the reason?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, Franklin D. Roosevelt would have told you. Mm-hmm. We went somewhere to get some of the fellows' beer. I didn't drink any of the stuff, but that day they told us that Franklin D. Roosevelt died.
Hmm.
He had some trouble. stroke in the head like my dad did. And, well, I just about cried that day, I'll tell you. And one boy would mimic, we went to some parties, or my friends would give us a party, and he'd mimic Roosevelt. My dear friends and countrymen, today will be a day of infamy. We will fight, fight, fight. We will never back up. That was Roosevelt. He sounded just like it, made him laugh, and I did it one night.
So, what other important battles can you remember? Were you in any battles?
I wasn't in any. I went through a lot of the battlefields.
What
But
was
I
that
saw something that not many people saw. There was two ships in a port, and one of them blew up one day about noon. Our fellows would go on the boats and get mail, and some of them would be on it. But that ship blew up. I was in a building that had doors, wooden doors. All the building was nothing. The doors was the only thing that was wood about. They were about 10 feet high, and that blast killed everybody on that boat. 1,000. They said there was 1,000 sailors on it killed.
And you watched it?
No, we were about 3 or 4 blocks from it, and the blast. Some of the buildings, old buildings in there, they fell. It was such a powerful blast. I had a headache for several days from it. This big door just flew open, and my pant leg just shook like that. Powerful. That's the worst thing I saw.
And why did it blow up? Did you ever find out?
Well, the Germans, they mined it. They had it fixed so it blow up. We just a few days before they had fixed. They mined and blew up a post office. They said there's people on the street blew their heads off. It was so powerful, some of them. And well, I was there just a few blocks. Maybe you could say from here to the courthouse, and it shook. Some of the city fell down up there at the port. The old buildings, and it was old.
That's terrible. So, how has war basically affected you and your life outside of the military? Has it had any effects or made you a stronger person maybe?
Well, no, I just didn't worry about it. I said, well, I just hope I get back home. Before at Camp Lee, Virginia, you know what Fort Lee is? They call it Fort Lee now. Well, that's where we trained to fight there. And there's snow on the ground, and it took us. We got to Washington. We were supposed to be in New Jersey at that time. There's ice and snow all around there. The training, was training, another was coming. I couldn't get sick. That was dangerous. But I was in some rough spots at times. I could have got killed on the highway. They had them tried, a lot of people a lot of them got killed on the roads. And we traveled a lot, fixing these post offices so they could get their mail.
Alrighty. So, I guess we talked about your military service. What do you remember about your childhood in World War I? Do you remember much about that?
Remember what?
About your childhood in World War I.
Oh, I used to work in stores around here when I was just a kid, neighborhood stores, pushed a cart around town and I had a sack of ship stuff on one shoulder, a can of oil and another, and pushing a two-wheel cart around. And I worked in several different stores and worked for the mayor and Gene McAdams down in the clothing store a long time. And then later, they died, and Hal and Coy ran it, and I worked with them at different times. And the biggest store, grocery store in the Graham, I worked in it. During the Depression, people he'd give a lot of people food, and I'd take it to them.
Were you affected by the Depression?
And my what?
Were you affected by the Depression?
Was I affected? Well, no, we got food, oh yeah, I was affected all right. It was rough. And, well, me and my wife, I went to Presbyterian Church, me and my wife had to go take flowers from a Sunday school somewhere every Sunday, take the flowers, see the city. And I'd stop it, and they'd say somebody didn't have much food, and I'd stop at a grocery store and get some groceries and go see them every Sunday.
So there were a lot of sick people and homeless, maybe?
A lot of people died with the flu back in 1918. A lot of people. I used to run the town. They called me a road runner. I'd jog the town and get medicine for them and be back in a few minutes. And I never did get the flu. I just go and getting things for somebody that needed it, medicine and everything.
Well, it sounds like you gave back to your community from a young age.
If what?
It sounds like you gave back to your community from a young age. Like, even as a 6-year-old, that was pretty good. Because you were born in 1906?
I was born in 1906. You ever heard of Hard Rock Simpson?
No, I haven't.
Well, he was in races from California to New York. He won second place in that. But we were in some races out at Hard Park, and the fence out there, we were supposed to run to the fence, 18 of us in a race. And Hard Rock said, that fool just went over and left all over. Yeah, I could outrun anybody in school playing football. I think I'd lose and they couldn't catch me. I was gone. And I was in the 6th grade, and Mr. Young put me in high school so I could play baseball. I could hit a ball, I'd knock them over the store like that to school.
That's awesome.
And I won ball game stealing. I could hit a ball against the fence and go home or hit home runs inside the ballpark. Yeah. I hit one day. We were playing over at Belmont. There's a church way down across the road. I hit a high ball, and it went across the road by the in the cemetery, by the church into the cemetery. And Don Holt didn't see it, and he held me up on third, and the whole team came out and brought me in. and a few minutes, the boy came run out, and I found it down in the cemetery. Yeah.
So you hit it all the way to the cemetery?
Yeah, and I was already sitting on the bench at home.
That's awesome. Well, did your family ever go on vacation or travel when you were a kid?
Well, not much. Oh, well, I can tell you one thing. Well, when I was a little fella, my mother and sister went to Durham. My grandfather worked on the railroad. He was a conductor on the railroad. And we got free tickets to go down there. And he walked to Durham that night.
From here?
He came in the next morning. He said he could hear people hollering at Christmas time. And He walked all the way to there, on the railroad, on the highway.
That's pretty neat. All right.
He was strong.
Do you remember the assassination of John F. Kennedy
Oh yeah, I remember, sure.
or Martin Luther King or
Yeah,
anything like that?
he was profound.
That's pretty cool. When do you remember getting like your first radio or a TV or technology?
Oh yeah, I got us a radio. My mother, she enjoyed it. I listened to it, and she used to have prayer meetings. She bought a lot of chairs. I fixed a room up so it'd be bigger, throw out a little hall, and she bought a bunch of chairs, and she'd have prayer meetings in the house.
Well, that's pretty cool. Alrighty. Well, I guess you've given me a lot of information, and I think you're a pretty cool inspiration to Alamance County, and we thank you, Mr. Nelson.
Well, thank you.
I notice you have a lot of neat pictures here in your home. This picture is of you in the military, right?
Yeah, I got something in there that I meant to bring in here. Some pictures, a few of them. I had on a long military coat and dressed in the uniform. On the right side of that. I told Ted, I said, I asked him if he could make a picture of that and make me some copies, a few copies. Can you see that good enough to make some copies? Asked me down there at the Presbyterian Church after a wedding. Elizabeth was quite a lady. The oldest one had Alzheimer's. Dr. Herbert was a dentist, wonderful dentist. And then the youngest one had it. All the rest of there's a picture of all of them up here. I'll show you that. Here's a picture of this picture of all the girls. There's two boys, David and Herbert, and that's the sisters.
Mm-hmm.
This one lives in New Jersey. I got a beautiful letter from her, and it was on her birthday. That was Maddie, and that's Minnie. She said, I'll love you, and I'll always remember you all the way through for all the things you've done for my family. Mother, that's my mother, my dad right there. He was a strong one. He died though with a stroke in the head like Roosevelt. That's Ted. Oh, that's the grandfather. He was the founder and first president of Elon College, right there. And that's a picture of my dad. And that's my mother. That's the pictures off of that one over there. That's the grandmother. This was at a party one night.
And that's
That's
you.
Elizabeth. he could have, he struck out. He did something they haven't done yet in the major league. He struck out 24 batters in a ball game playing Greensboro in the state championship. He struck out 24 batters, and we were playing again at Reedsville, neutral ground. And three of the boys made errors. Steph Wilson was pitching. He couldn't pitch them all, and he lost the game. Tom, you know who Tom Zachary was? Played with the Yankees, I don't know, about 3 different teams up in the majors. And he lived at Snow Cap. But he went to our church in Sunday school, and we told him one Sunday about him striking out at 24. He said he should have been in the majors. Said, they haven't done that yet up there. But he just didn't like to see it. There's a lot of people and knowing. And he drove a Greyhound bus for 40 years. My aunts and my grandmother could all play together. And we had, my grandmother had what they call an old zilch there. Well, that's Jane, I believe. And she played with a violin bow. And my Aunt Sarah could play guitar. And Aunt Martha could play that, and they'd play it and sing. And so Belle was in there. I had it where it would play, and Jane with the group. She, Elizabeth was. I asked somebody, I said, in my pictures up there, the one that's over here, I had those lace on my little dress, and I said, which one you think's me, that one, or Elizabeth, or this one? And they said, they thought that the one with the lace on it was me. They thought that was, they thought it was Elizabeth. Ted and little Gina, when she was a baby, they lived at Eden, and she died. I said a little prayer. She was in the hospital over at Winston-Salem. That's no God in the soon after the First World War. And the medical corps, and we every summer we'd go 2 weeks down to Morehead City, and I'd work in the hospital part of it, and medical corps. That was before the war. And the grandmother, she didn't. He just come up to his shoulder. She was little and he was tall. Music down the street yonder with the Carruthers, and she's still living. And I made a Kodak picture of her, and she painted that from that picture. She painted it.
Now, who painted that?
Jane painted it. I made a photo down there of it, and from that photo, she painted that. I had that.
He's going to show us some of his memorabilia.
That's the ones I had in just a good conduct medal, and that's a European, and Africa. See? Oh yeah, no, that's different colors for different outfits. And Mars got in it. You got another one there too, have you?
Well, you're wearing one on your head.
Oh, yeah, it's on my head. Yeah, it's on my head.
So,
well, I don't know the outfit I was in,
Mhm.
base, 5th base post office. Well, no, it's Army.
well, that's pretty special. So, do you have any other relatives today that are in the military?
Jeremy McKeever coming here today. He's in the Air Force and works on airplanes. He's coming here today from South Dakota.
Grandson.
What?
Your grandson.
Yeah, my grandson is coming here today from South Dakota.
All right. Well, we thank you again, and you've been tremendous.
Glad to.
This is Darrell R. Peebles, the man behind the microphone, bringing you something positive each day from the Peebles Motivation Bureau, both positive, personal, and professional. Remember, there are 3 divisions: digital, real life, and print. But in the digital, we have not only the YouTube channel, but the website, Zoom events, and much more. In the real life, we do pulpit supply, funerals, weddings, magic shows, keynote speakers, and more. And in the print division, not only books, but magazine articles, newspapers, and custom artwork. Locally ordered books from me can get signatures and special discount. This one is already out and about, helping others. Churches and pastors have special discounts. I appreciate you, your ideas and support. Keep them coming. These are other areas that I might be able to help you, and these are my contact points. This is Daily Dose of Darrell, responding to the free and gracious gift of God. I am using humor, the art of illusion, modern technology, and decades of serving God and communities to work every day to uncover the beauty in all people and experiences coming my way, endeavoring to educate, entertain, and inspire. Each dose on this channel can help move us toward a better, healthier, and more informed mind, body, and spirit. I'm excited to be a small part of the expanding of our capacity to learn, love, and forgive, and together leave this world a better place for all. God bless you.